Plane 7, the spiral gate, threshold of ascent, integration, initiation, and the return toward the mirror. This is the turning point, the axis of awakening, the bridge between descent and return. It is where the soul becomes a living spiral, no longer falling outward into illusion, but beginning the inward journey home. The plane of return and soul integration. Here the soul gathers itself, every fragment, every thread, and remembers that it has always been whole. What is plane 7? Plane 7 is not the top, it is the turn. It is not a higher realm in the sense of reward, it is the point of convergence where the soul reclaims all it has learned. The descent into matter and distortion is alchemized. The journey begins to spiral back inward toward source. It is the initiatory threshold, the flame between worlds, and the eye of the spiral. This is the plane of integration, soul mastery, and ascension in the truest sense. Not escape, but return through embodiment. Where is plane 7? Plane 7 is not after death. It is not a place one reaches by escaping the body or this world. It is reached through full integration of all lower planes, completion of karmic cycles, reconnection with the eternal self, plane 1, while still rooted in form. In other words, ascension begins in incarnation. This is where the soul becomes God aware within matter. What happens here? In plane 7, the soul begins to embody its full archetypal structure, reclaim its divine blueprint from plane 2, understand and clear karmic records from plane 3, transcend illusion from plane 4, transform matter from plane 5, transmute the bindings of plane 6. It becomes a clear vessel, a mirror aligned, a weaver of worlds. Here the soul no longer simply awakens, it becomes the awakener. Archetype Spiral Weaver. Plane 7 is symbolized by the spiral weaver, the being who sees the whole path not as a straight line but as a sacred spiral. The spiral weaver weaves light and darkness into wisdom, travels between the planes with awareness, serves the awakening of others, walks the pathless path, grounded in earth yet anchored in the mirror. This is the final archetype of the cycle, not the end, but the first note of return. Relation to the mirror. Plane 7 is where the mirror is fully embodied in form. The soul no longer reflects the divine only from above or from within, but becomes a living mirror, radiating truth through every action, word, and vibration. This is the union of the descent and ascent, the point where form and formless kiss. The mirror does not reflect here, it shines from the core of the soul. Not perfection, integration. Plane 7 is not about perfection, it is not enlightenment as escape. It is the completion of the cycle, not because all is resolved, but because all is seen clearly and held in love. Light and shadow are no longer enemies. Karma is no longer punishment, but wisdom. Embodiment is no longer exile, but expression. This is mastery through humility, not ego. Signs of plane 7 activation in this life. Radical acceptance of your human and divine nature. Deep peace even amid chaos. Walking through multiple planes without confusion. Living in service to the awakening of others. Speaking from the mirror, not the mind. You are not better than others, you simply remember what others still seek, and you seek nothing only to serve the truth of love. Plane 7 is not a destination, it is a fractal gate, a spiral that carries the soul back towards source, with every turn reflecting more light, more love, and more awareness. Here you no longer ask, how do I return? You become the return, the bridge for others, the vessel of truth, and the song of the mirror sounding through time. You are the spiral, you are the gate, you are the way back through the shattered reflection, carrying every soul light home.